guys, March the 11th. It's snowing. Look at that. Beautiful, isn't it? I love a drop of snow. Okay, technically it's the if we were into spring, Met Office wise, but life wise we're not. Spring doesn't happen till equinox time in my book. There are a few trees out in blossom, though I think it's a bit premature. We did have a warm spell last week, but other than that, looks like, as I said, March 11th and it's snowing. Beautiful. Well guys, I'm just going to take a wander. I've got some thoughts and what have you. Ah dear. Well, let's see. Well guys, here we go. Yeah, usual old place. Look at it, it's lovely snow, isn't it? Oh, you can't beat a drop of snow. Okay, it's very late in the year for the southeast UK for this, but oh, I delight to see. Maybe the spy a fox later, who knows. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. I know I'm going to have a brew up. Maybe, well, I've got some bacon in the bag and I'm going to sizzle that up on the stove. Nice, isn't it? And of course, wherever he's gone, I have a doggy around here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Mr. Dog. Alfie, there he is. They're a trusty and faithful companion. Like bringing them out into these woods. Constantly peas everywhere though. It's just nice. Right guys, cooking my bacon and boiling up my water on the honey stove today. I'm going to use a Trangia setup. Just so much wood around here, but it's been raining and also the snow's made it all damp, and I want a quick brew. I've got a couple of projects I've got set up for today, but I'm going to use, I've got the honey stove plus the extension, which is a Hive, which is an 8-sided stove. You just get the extra base and extra 2 panels, but I'm just going to set it up as the honey stove today. It's a good setup. I reckon it's a good piece of kit. It's a bit like Marmite, you either like it or you hate it. After you've used it a few times, the metal does buckle, but then again all metal tends to do that. So I'll put those two to one side. So basically you've got, well, I'll get a bit of wood out of the way. Basically you've got the base plate, you've got the holder for the Trangia burner, but I also use it when I use it as a wood burning stove as the top piece as well. And you've got the plates which go together like so. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's been a bit of a strange week for me, as some of you may know. I've had a bit of tragedy in my life, but I shan't dwell on that now. I'm just going to put this little beastie together. This is where it becomes fun. You've got 2 lots to fit in. So I'll put that in there and that one in there. It's a good piece of kit. I can't really fault it apart from it's putting it together, but then again it's not too cold today, so it's not so bad. It's when it gets really cold and you're trying to stick this together that it really tries your patience. Alright, I need to finish that round a bit. I reckon this is akin to do a bit bit like doing a Rubik's Cube. And put the sideboard in. There is a top and bottom to this side door, but when I'm using it in this situation, doesn't really matter. Right, there we go, all together. Good heavens, I've got it through together in quite a good time. Must be the potential audience. Right, and it drops in there like that. Right guys, I'm going to go and find the matches and what have you. Might even have to put my coat back on, it's getting a bit chilly again. Well, that's how easy it is to put together. Right, I'll see you in a minute. Well, there you go guys, I've went out and got myself a bit of snow. I'm going to put a drop of water in here so that I've got a bit of a water at the bottom, because snow will insulate and can burn a hole, or the fire will burn a hole in the pot. So it's coming down harder, this snow. Nice. Anyway guys, let's see what we've got. So, top the old burner up a bit. I try once a year at least to make a brew out of some snow. It's I just find it a bit thrilling. There we go, in the bottom of this pouch. I was going to spend last night out here, but I just didn't feel up to it. Right. Right, get some water. Just a wee drop in there. This will take longer to boil than normal. Really must bleach that pot out at some point. Well, today guys, I've got my Narcissus Gold Oolong. Just about used all that up now. Pour a little bit in there, ready for when the water boils. Enough for two cups. Yep. I've got some pu'er indoors, I think, which is quite nice. It's a very strong sort of marine-y tasting seaweed. Better put the lid on this. Put it around somewhere. Ah, sacre bleu. Anyway, I shall be back in a minute, guys. Look at that, guys, bacon cooking away there. Oh, sizzling away. I'd like to cook this over an open fire. There's lots of I'd like to have done today, but it's not going to happen. But regardless, it's smoked bacon from where I work. Going to make a couple of bacon sandwiches out of this. I'm going to put the lid back on. Putting the lid on it, it holds the heat in, saves on fuel. So tea's brewing, which is here. No, you can just about see it. It's just in camera shot. I have to drop it down a bit. Right. It's all good. Well, yes, it's lovely. The snow's coming down quite steadily now. I wouldn't say it's a heavy snowfall, it's medium. It's great, everything's turning white. So I've got my tea made out of snow. I've got my bacon cooking away nicely. Look at that. Wouldn't you like some of that really tasty stuff? Got some bread to pop it in, and even wonder how I might get some Got a project, so I'm going to turn that into a coat hook in a minute. Unfortunately I haven't brought the other piece of item that I need for it, which is a piece of paracord, but you'll get the idea when I made it. Other than that, I'm going to turn off. Look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good? Wouldn't you like some of that, guys? Wouldn't you like some of that? Look at that. Nice little cook. Oh, it's smelling good. It's smelling really good. Right, I'm going to leave the lid off for a second to dry off some of the moisture. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this little impromptu breakfast in the woods. Well guys, many's a time I've been out in the woods and I've been stuck for somewhere to hang my coat. But with one of these, which I shall fashion into a coat hook, all you need is some cordage to wrap around the tree. Basically, see what I'm going to do, I'm going to hopefully take it off there, flatten it there, and then I shall cut it down a little bit. Oh, come on doggy, get that leaf out of your mouth, that's it. It's a nice little project, and it can live in your rucksack. You don't need to have as long a pointy bit as this. I'm going to take it down to about there. So first of all, let's batten this, or try and batten this down a bit. Best way up for this, I think, is there. There we go guys, just flatten it off. Right. Resheath the knife. And get the Laplander up, because I need to trim this off a bit. So if I trim it off about there, right, there we go, right, that's moved about a bit, right, there we go. What I'm going to do is just round that off a little bit, then carve a notch into there. It's a bloody good knife, Sandy, you really don't. Right, and all you do is just bevel the edge off a little bit. And there you go, a very rough and ready coat hook. All you need is some cordage now to wrap it around the tree. You can use paracord, you could use something made up from nettles or the inner bark of a sweet chestnut maybe. Bit of jute twine, anything just to wrap it round the tree. And if that's your tree and it fits on there like that, you can pretty it up a bit, but there you go, an impromptu and very useful coat hook. You can carry a couple of these in your rucksack and you're not dictated by the tree on where to hang your coat. Hope that proves of use, guys. If the filming's bad, it's because the camera's at an odd angle and I'm having to do this upside down on the screen. Well guys, my fingers are starting to feel a bit numb, and it's amazing how this tea swells up. This is my second brew I've got with my Narcissus Gold Oolong, which is I just got a little bit left for a brew at home, I think. That'll do. Need to squish it down a bit with this. So time to do its thing. I'll put that there for a minute. Yeah, split up a bit of sweet chestnut, then half make a mess of your blade. There's a tanning in the thing, turns your blade purple, with purple streaks on it. I'm hoping to, when I get my head together, make a couple of butter knives and maybe a spoon out of that. I just want to see how dry this sweet chestnut is that I found. There's plenty of it around here. It's just some kids had chopped some down last year, and it's been seasoning for a bit for me. Oh, that's hot and that's tasty. Well, as you see, I used the honey stove today. Quite like that. It's a good little stove. I'd highly recommend it. Some people, as I said earlier, it's a bit like Marmite. You either like it or you hate it. I think it's a good little stove. It's British built. And they do another one called the pocket stove, which is basically the honey stove, but it's square and it's about that big. It's about the same size as the Trangia triangle, except for it's square, and you can use it both for the meths burner or a meths burner or little bits of twig underneath. Not tried it yet, I've not got one. As far as I'm concerned, the jury's out on that. In the world of bushcraft, well, you saw me make the little coat hook. To my mind, bushcraft is making stuff, you know, going out in the woods. Some people are gadget freaks, you know, they've got to buy every little gadget going. I'm a minimalist, really, or I try to be a minimalist. It doesn't always work out that way. It's very difficult sometimes, you know, you always have the just in case. Sadly, the Ray Mears Wild Britain series has come to an end. Yet another inspirational series, really. There's very little bushcraft in it as such. Some people criticised it for that, but the series is to explore wild Britain. Basically, it's an inspirational program. It inspires you, the audience, to really get up and go out and have a look. You know, okay, the program isn't very long, half an hour, which is a bit of a shame. It could do with being an hour long, but it's that's how it goes. I'd like to say a big welcome to all those who have subscribed to my channel over the last few weeks. I don't always reply to what people have commented on. Sometimes it doesn't require a reply. You know, the replies in the answers, the replies in the comment, really. There's some really wonderful guys out there. So if you subscribe to my channel recently and you haven't hooked into these particular people, I would say do so. There's Sandy, who runs Jacklaw Knives, makes excellent knives. He runs a couple of channels. He does a lot of wild camping now. Nice guy, wonderful guy. Then there's Jester Bushcraft, Mick, great guy, does a lot of kit vids, likes to get out there with his children as well. And there's a couple of guys, one in Michigan and one, I think he lives on the borders of Ontario. One's MI Wilderness. Roosevelt is a wonderful guy. He takes you for a tour around his area. you know, looking at the wild edibles and what have you, and processing stuff. And the other chap is Bushcraft Bartons, really nice guy, Canadian. We see this outdoors life from their perspective, and it's great. Oh, just before I forget, and it goes out of my head completely, there is another chap called Jungle Crafty who lives out in Borneo. Now, his channel is primarily to do with jungle living, but there's a lot of aspects of it that slip over into our neck of the woods. Those guys are wonderful to look at, and of course there's many others. You know, if I mentioned everybody, I'll be here forever and a day. Everybody I subscribe to and everybody I watch has a slightly different take on this thing called bushcraft. I don't like calling it bushcraft. To me, it's the outdoors life. It's what we do outdoors. I'm slowly getting into trying to spend a bit more time out here. It's proved difficult of late due to one or two things that have happened in life that were very, very much unforeseen, and I'm getting over that. Got a wonderful lady who shares this interest, though doesn't always come out with me, and it's great. You'll often see Wonderhound with me. He's out there, he's sitting behind the camera at the moment, and it's great. I've got a gadget. Having said that, I'm going to get a new camera, and I've looked around, I've looked in the shops, and I've looked at all various still cameras, various handy cams, and I had a look online at the GoPro Hero 3, quite like the look of that. Then watching 60 Most Dangerous Animals with Steve Backshall. He was in Egypt paragliding, and I had a set of 3 GoPro Hero 3s on their setup, and the quality, obviously you got professional editors doing it, but the quality of the photography was good, and that sort of clinched it for me. So I'll be getting myself a GoPro. Obviously you can't flip the screen round like you can on this and look at yourself, but you can get attachments to have it on your head, chest, other bits of equipment, tripod and what have you, and it's got a remote control, which I was after anyway. Hopefully to get a bit more filming done. Listen to that. The wind's getting up. It stopped snowing, but the wind's getting up now. Yeah, so as far as the outdoor side of life concerned, I watched a few videos. Some of them always defy belief. You know, you wonder why these guys do it. Others, I admire what they do. I'm not a survivalist. I don't go out trying to live off the land. I will harvest stuff. Ramsons are starting to come up. It's almost spring, so all new life is coming out. With a bit of luck, in a few weeks' time, the St George's mushrooms and the chicken of the woods will make its appearance. That is what I'm looking forward to. I've really got to make an effort to get out more this year. Life, you get one chance at life. There's no restart button, and you got to do the best you can with it. I just want to get out more and do more. As I said in an earlier video, I've got various trips planned off now for the year, and I just want to get out and do it. Get out, make videos, pass on some knowledge, I might even have a go at building a shelter later in the year. It's always difficult because my take on it is it's good knowledge to have, and I can actually build a shelter if needs be, but I like to get out and just have a really good time in the woods. Okay, I'm not sitting quiet now, but sometimes just sitting here quietly, you do see deer go through,
you do see foxes go through, and bizarrely Alf will sit down and just watch them go past. He doesn't always make chase. And drink plenty of tea. The sap would have started to rise, I suppose, last week, but now it's gone on hold. No doubt it's dropped a bit. It's lovely, white, and it's snowy. My fingers are freezing cold. I'll stick them under my armpits. Here's a bit of advice which some of you may or may not know. When your hands are cold, don't breathe on them, because as you breathe on your hand, you're breathing moisture onto your hands, which will make them even more cold. Best place to stick them is either under your armpits like so, or between your legs. Three of the warmest places on the body. And in fact, when we're doing the, when I've done a couple of courses where it's been bare bones bushcraft, there's things called cock rocks, and basically they're a rock about that big, no moisture in, heat them on the fire, wait for them to cool down a bit, before you go to sleep stick one under each armpit and one between your legs. It keeps you warm right through the night. Anyway guys, I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to pack this gear away, and I might wend my way back home. I might have a wander. Some of you that know me on Facebook will understand why I'm feeling a bit glum at the moment. Oh, also the guys that have subscribed to me, if you've got Facebook accounts, there's a page called Kiss Bushcraft, and it's well worth a look. I run it. I haven't done much on it of late. I'm trying to think of things to do that is simple and not gadget orientated, but I'll leave that up to you. And Sandy, it'd be nice if you did a little video on Kiss Bushcraft of you making a knife, start to finish. Oh, there was a young man by the name of Josh. I gave him the knife last Saturday. He opened it up, and to say that the smile was the broadest one I've ever seen. He's so pleased with it. Everything about the knife was perfect, from the blade right through to the sheath. Thank you very much, Sandy. Here's another pucker tool. I'll see you later.